Hello guys, I'll be showing this problem called Circular Barn. I just finished solving it. It's part of the 2016 February Bronze Contest for USACO. This is a simulation problem. If you guys have not been able to solve this problem, or this is your first time, I'll be walking you through the solution. So essentially, what you have is a barn, and it's a circle, and there are n rooms, and each of these rooms contain a certain number of cows that can be in that room, and that's how many cows that Farmer John wants in those rooms. So for example, if we look at this input, we have 5 rooms, and in the first room we have 4 cows. We have to have 4 cows. Second room, 7 cows, and so on. And he wants to find out the minimum amount of distance the cows need to travel. And it is decided that the room which has 7 cows is the cow that needs to be the cows that enter. So the cows move in a clockwise direction. So we can choose any room from these. So we can just choose, let's say room 7. They go clockwise. So from room 7 they go to the room with 8 cows, and so on. So how do we calculate this? Well, we can look at this as having, so the amount of cows that go into the room from the beginning, like enter the barn from the exterior, it doesn't count. So for example, if they enter through this room, there would be 4 cows in there, and there needs to be 7 cows that go in here. So that would be 7 times 1, which is 7. Let's just use this room as an example. So there's 7 cows in here already. We don't count them. And then we move 8 steps into here. And then in order to go to room 6, we need to have 6 times 2, because these cows already moved from 8. So 6 times 2 is 12. So 8 plus 12 is... What is 8 plus 12? I don't know. It's 20. So yeah, we have 20. And then from 6 to 4, it's 4 times 3. So that's 32. And then 4 times 4 is 16. So 32 plus 16 is 48. So yeah, that's basically how it's calculated. So we can look at this as the room, we don't count this. So for example, in an array, we don't count 7. So for everything else in the array, it's gonna be this, the first one times 1, the second one times 2, the third one times 3, and the fourth one times 4. And we can do this with a for loop with increasing up to n. And that's basically how we're going to calculate it. But the thing we need to do is find the array and basically use recursion to complete the array. So it's easy if we start with 4, because the array is just this. But let's say we start with 7. We're only going to be able to get these 4 numbers, but how do we get this last number, right? Well, the answer is simple. We can use modulus. We use the current position, and we modulus of n. And this way we can get the position that we need to the last position that we need to obtain the full array. So for example, let's take 7 again as our example. So this position is 0, 1. So the position is 1. Modulus of 5. What is 1 modulus of 5? Right? 1 modulus of 5 is obviously going to be 1. The remainder is 1. So since the remainder is 1, the starting value is going to be 4. And we only need 1 value. So for example, if we do 3 modulus 5, we're going to get 2. So these 2, right? And that's basically essentially how we're going to get these values. So let's just implement this. It's a pretty simple implementation once we get these two, the calculation, how to calculate it, and also how to combine the array with recursion. So let's hop into our code, shall we? So over here, all we need to do is basically the standard for Python: import the sys module and set our input and output to be the file name. So it's cvarn and then read. We just copy this and then change this as standard output. By the way, it stands for standard input and standard output for those who don't know. And this is basically the syntax or format for Python, the simplest way. So we have n, and we set it to an integer. We're basically just reading on our variables here. Cow rooms, and we're going to use list comprehensions. Makes it just way easier. It's one line of code for I in range of n. So there, we have our rooms. As you can see, I have my input file set up like this. So we have cow rooms, and it's going to be a list of all of the people, the total number of cows in each room. Alright, so, and then we also need our moves, so the total amount of moves. And essentially what we're going to do is we're going to be simulating the calculations for every single possible room entry and finding the minimum value of moves. So we need this because we're going to find the minimum value of this. Alright, so let's enter our for loop. So for I in range of n, we're gonna go get our steps, which is what we're gonna calculate, and we're also gonna check. So the start value is going to be cow rooms of I. That's gonna be starting value for our rooms. Okay. So we can just eliminate all the external values already. So if it's the first value. The order is just simple. We don't need to do any recursion or modulus or any of that. So we just do cow rooms of I. Cow rooms of I, and then use some index slicing. And yeah, that's essentially what we're gonna do for our order. We don't need to use the modulus because it's only the original list. And basically, here's where we calculate it. So we're gonna iterate through everything from 1 to n, right? Because remember what I said, it's everything except the current one, and then it goes in increasing order, multiplying by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on. So what this does is it reaches all of these values up until n. So for example, if this is 5, it gives us 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is the ones which we multiply against the remaining values, like I said before. So we're just going to increment steps by order of I minus 1. Why I minus 1? Because this is the first value, and we can see that. And then we just multiply it by I, which is the value that we have here. Okay, so we just repeat this for the else statement if it's not 1. So we can just copy this over here. So the order, but this is different, right? Because we need the modulus. So additionally to this, we're going to add cow rooms of I modulus n. And there we have it. And then we just add moves dot append steps. And then we just print the min value of the moves. Okay. So there you go. That's basically the solution. Pretty simple solution. And yeah, basically that's all there is to it. Hopefully that helped you guys. It might have been a bit confusing, but if you guys have any questions, just feel free to post them in the comments. I just showed you my solution really quickly. Hopefully I explained it well. But yeah, thanks for watching.